The tank that you are seeing behind me is the first tank that we scaped in our new gallery, and this video is about an update on this tank. Guys, the tank is classic 90p tank, which is 90 centimeter by 45 by 45. Before I get on explaining the details about this tank, let me quickly wrap up the equipment that I have used in this tank. In the canister filter, we have got Aquarium Neo media. The sheer performance of the media means that we don't have to open the canister often. We haven't opened it yet. We have no plans of opening it very soon, probably once in 3 months, 4 months. We'll be opening and cleaning it. Talking about the light, it's Chiro's WRGB 290. The spectrum that we have focused on this light for this tank is on the green spectrum, and there is a reason behind that. Generally, there is a tendency for all of us to lean towards a kind of a purplish, grow light kind of a setup because it accentuates the red color, red pigments of the tank. It shows redder. For this tank, specifically because it's a nature scape, we have concentrated on green spectrum, and also we have hung this light about 1.5 feet above the tank, which also means we need more green spectrum so that the light reaches to the bottom, and also the green spectrum provides us a pure natural nature style kind of a look for this tank. Let's get on with the plants. The plant that you are seeing in the front, which is the carpet plant, we have used Echinodorus tenalis, the Arjuna red species. Even though the light is hung quite high from the tank, also even though we have concentrated on the green spectrum of it, you can already see that certain leaves have already started turning red. So this species will turn red in the due course. And another couple of plants that we have added after the scape is, one is here, Echinodorus Iguazu 2009. We also have added needle leaf ferns onto this tank. The other plants you can see, Anubias, Nana Petit is here, Anubias, Nana is here, Golden is here. We have added certain physidants on the woods. We also have got few other species, specifically like Japonica, Blixa Japonica. We have Hydrocotyl tripartita at the back, which is coming onto the front now. We have also planted Rotala colorata at the back. It has still not grown, and I'm not sure, my guys would have trimmed it, used it in other tank, but it's there at the back. Now, it's been close to 1.5 to 2 months, I think, since we have scaped the tank. Things are growing as we expected. The Aquarium Neo soil is holding its shape very well. Plants have rooted very well. We never had any algae issues in this tank. The primary reason is because we went ahead planting the tank quite densely. That has helped in keeping the nutrient level in the water column at check. At the bottom, we had used Aeschybacter. And then talking about certain algae, because whenever we get a tank update, a hobbyist will look forward to know what kind of algae has kicked inside the tank apart from the growth. Now, talking about the plants, you would have already seen that we have used mostly easy plants in this tank, and they're all doing quite well. Coming to the algae part of it, we did have BBA issues in this tank. Again, primarily because we were not keeping the CO2 stable. We have customers coming into the gallery from 9 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at the night. So quite often we will have to switch on the lights, and they'll spend like 15-20 minutes in front of each tanks. And sometimes we forget to inject the CO2. That is point number 1. Point number 2 is that we used not a good regulator in the beginning. I don't want to name the brand, but right now we have switched to a very good brand right now. That also is helping us keeping the CO2 levels, the injection specifically, stable. Now, since we did not concentrate on that in the beginning, we had BBA issues. And the way we recovered the BBA, right now we don't have any BBAs here. The way we recovered the BBA is very simple. We did spot dosing on the BBAs of Masterline Carbo, and we also tripled our daily dosage of potassium. Obviously, iron absorption or anything else would have kicked in. Plants would have been happy, and that's how we got rid of BBA. But this tank, quite like any other tank, is not free of algae. On the woods and slow growing plants, you can see the spot algae coming in, which is again primarily because of two factors. One is fluctuation in CO2, but in this tank, the primary reason is deficiency of phosphates. I want to spend a couple of minutes around that. There is a disbelief or a myth or a misinformation that in all the tanks, if you have enough livestock, enough fishes, you don't have to dose much of nitrates and phosphates, which I feel is wrong, because in our gallery, we do sell fishes, and the way we sell fish is we actually acclimate them, keep them in very good health, and for that we make use of these kind of tanks. And because of that, we will have a tank which is fully packed with fishes. And right now, the volume that you are seeing of fish is quite about 20% of what we would normally stock in this tank. Even with those kind of levels of fish holding, we have seen nitrogen and phosphates being deficient if we don't dose it. In this tank, we are dosing phosphates once in 3 days, and nitrogen we are dosing also once in 3 days in the form of NPK. Potassium, of course, we have explained in many other videos that you have to dose it daily because it aids in absorption of other nutrients for the plants. Now, specifically on the fish load and phosphates, we strongly recommend you keep an eye on the phosphate levels. You, in all possibilities, will have to dose phosphates irrespective of the load of fish that you have. And the example that I want to show here again is on the algae that we are having in this tank, and it's specifically because of phosphate deficiency. It was fully packed and we started dosing phosphates, and then the issues are coming down. Now we have few footages of this tank for this week. You're going to watch that right now. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.